What up?
What up?
We're starting already, my boy.
Let's go. Let me know. Let me know when it's ready.
It's good. We good. We're ready to go, baby.
Welcome to another episode of Sincerely Unmatched. Episode what? Number 22?
22, baby.
Let's go. It's been a how many episodes we knocked out in a week?
We've done 3 episodes so far, so we made our comeback last. What was it? Saturday?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah,
Saturday. Last Saturday.
Yep.
And then Tuesday, and now today, Friday, December the 1st.
Yeah, let's go.
Birthday month. Woo!
Let's go.
Another day.
That's good, man.
Another dollar.
Yeah. Anyways, you know how we talked about me taking it easy and not getting another job, but guess what? Your boy got another job.
You got another job?
Got another job, but right now I'm working at a burger place right now, smashing some burgers. Only did like 7 hours, but most of the time I was sitting down because I was like a little taco truck,
Okay.
burger truck.
It's a burger joint.
So I was just doing that while I was on my phone. I was doing what I gotta do, but they don't open on Sunday, so Sunday is gonna be the day where I do my errands, my whatever I gotta take care of, so I don't have to be rushing throughout the week. Let's go.
How was it, bro? How was your first day?
It was good, man. And honestly, this is not my first time working at a burger joint, so it was good. It was a bit more quiet because I used to work at a like a In-N-Out type of place.
Yeah, like a restaurant.
And and it was always like fast paced. You go and you work and orders come in. And this burger place, burger truck.
Yeah.
Like people will come in like maybe every 30 minutes, every hour.
Okay.
So it wasn't really as active. I was trying to stay like proactive and like clean the truck, but how many times can you clean a truck when there's not many customers coming in? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you.
So, but I try to do the most of it. The owner was like, "You're very he likes my work ethic," and I just told him honestly, I just cannot sit down and not do nothing. Like I gotta move. I gotta make sure it's clean for the customers. I gotta make sure that I gotta do. You know how we were talking about high expectations, right?
Yeah.
Last episode, and I know that whether it's my boss or whoever it is, we're gonna have high expectations, right? And they have high expectations, so I want to make sure that I have that like point of view on myself, that I'm able to like have high expectations, and I'm able to see that, but not just talk about it, but be about it,
You know what's kind of interesting? It's interesting how most of us, in a way, feel the same way that you do, because when it's our first time at a job or basically working in a new team, it's a little bit, I don't want to say frustrating, but it is kind of frustrating when you're getting into a new place and you're working at this new place and you don't know exactly what to do, and everybody is just kind of getting the gist of it, or has, they know exactly what to do or what needs to be done for that in their operation. And then when you come in, you're like, do I do this? Do I do that? It becomes a little bit overwhelming and frustrating. Overwhelming in the sense that, like, you want to just do something like proactive, but also frustrating in the fact that in the gist of trying to do something proactive, like you're frustrated because you're not able to do something.
Yeah, no, and that's kind of how it felt like today. I went in, and even though, like I said, this is not my first burger place that I worked at, I went and I was like, what do I do? And then they want me to work cash register, which I never did.
Okay.
But I learned today, and I got it down. But to me, it was I learned fast. Even the owner was like, you learn fast, and it was only me and him. Like it's like a taco truck, man. Like it was just me and him, so it wasn't really a lot of people in the truck. So the majority of the time, the owner would leave and my brother was like, "Dang, they trust you," because I called them, and I was like, "I guess, like I'm here, I'm just working." The guy would leave and come back, and leave and come back, and I was taking orders and doing by myself on my first day. Uh, so yeah, so they were just saying that they wanna give me more hours, but I'm just like, these are the hours that I can work, and
Yeah.
and I've learned throughout my experiences in life, like I don't want to say that I'm going to do it and then don't do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And be like, yeah, give me this date, and then don't show up.
Yeah.
Because now we're being more. Now it comes into accountability where somebody else can get those hours, or you know.
Yeah.
Or,
Makes sense.
so I just try to make sure that my yes be yes and my no be no.
Yeah. No, that's great. Like you mentioned, we touched upon it in the last episode. We said how it's better to just do a few things right, but do them in a very good manner than to do a bunch of things and do them all in a shitty way. So it's better for you to kind of understand what roles you could take on and not bite off more than what you could chew, just like we said in the previous episode.
Yeah, exactly. And taking one step at a time. I've seen this. I was on Instagram, and I seen this video. I don't know the name of the guy, but he was this guy talking about how you wake up in the morning and be like, I'm gonna do it now. I'm gonna do it now, and you repeat it. I'm gonna do it now. I'm gonna do it now. And he said that helps you stop procrastinating.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna do it now. I'm gonna go to the gym now. I'm gonna write, and I'm gonna do it now, or I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do it now. And then he says, you gotta have a vision, right?
Yeah.
But you don't want to cut. You don't want to eat the whole ham. You want to cut the ham in slices, right? Basically, the slices represent the steps that you're gonna take in order to get to that goal that you're trying to get to. If you don't want to be like, oh well, I'm gonna write a whole book and then try to do everything at once. You have to learn how to write a book. You have to learn how to. Well, if you know how to write, have different styles of writing, or how to do a biography or whatever. It's all taking a step, but taking a step, but with purpose, right?
Yeah.
You want to make sure that every step counts, because obviously we're gonna make mistakes throughout the process, but if we can research the steps before, we can have a better understanding, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. I think, at least for me, what works for me is, and I actually got this idea from Jocko. He actually just says not to negotiate with yourself. Just do what you got to do. Just because if you sit down, like for example, like if you get up and you sit down on your bed and you're thinking about what needs to be done, and the more you think about it, it becomes a little bit more daunting, and you just end up thinking about it, thinking about it, thinking about it, and maybe in the midst of thinking about it so much, you decide, hey, you know what? It's Friday. Like I'm just gonna chill. I'm just gonna relax. So it's better to just don't think about it so much and just do it. And I learned that with my burpee challenge as well, because as I mentioned, there was some days where I would be thinking too much about dropping down and giving you the first burpee that I would at most spend like 40 minutes trying to convince myself to start that first burpee. And it's like, I'm telling you, bro, sometimes it would take me more time in negotiating with myself than the actual work itself. Because at the end of the day, like my burpees, I ended up doing them in about like 15 minutes. Imagine, bro, like if I would have like just jumped into the burpees without wasting those first 40 minutes, I probably would have gotten way more done throughout my day.
And that was basically like time wasted,
Yeah.
So that makes perfect sense. It's kind of like how I told you like many times in the podcast, like in the previous episodes, like bro, like when I was like 14, 15, I was like, I'm gonna write a book, and never, I never did. I was like, oh, I'm gonna write a book. I'm gonna do it. And I never did. And then finally, was it last year? I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take that step and I'm gonna actually do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like I told you many times, bro, like there's times I just like lay in my bed, like, what is my purpose in life? What do I gotta do? What steps can I take to, or what steps can I take to the vision that I have? Because again, You can have a vision, but if you don't have goals, then it's just dreams. And and then again, we're only getting older.
Yeah.
My brother tells me all the time, bro, like we're getting older. We're getting older. Think about your career. Think about what you want to do. And my friends tell me too. And honestly, like, do I see myself growing in where I'm at, in the company that I'm at? I do. But then again, it's like there's just so much that I want to do that I kind of feel like I'm crazy, in a sense. Like, I want to move up at my job, but I also want to rap. But then I also want to write. But then again, I also want to help people. But then again, I also want to play sports. But then again, you know what I mean? So it's like there's like so many things that I want to do, that I want to accomplish, that I guess that I overwhelm myself to the point that there's times I just like I think about it too much that I don't do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's this whole thing in psychology, bro, where they studied people that spend a lot of time daydreaming and about like their big visions. And these people that usually daydream, bro, at least for the most part, they have these big dreams, and the fact that they constantly think about these dreams makes them not actually accomplish those dreams because they spend so much time thinking about it that, as you mentioned, like they end up not really doing much. They don't really end up moving the needle, and they don't really get remotely close to whatever it is that they were trying to accomplish in their head, bro, because they spent so much time daydreaming and thinking about it, visualizing it, that they didn't actually put the work, or they didn't do what was necessary for them to accomplish these dreams or goals or objectives. You get me?
I have a question for you. Any techniques that you use in life that when you don't feel like doing it and you just get up and do it?
Oh, well, I mean, one of the things that I've learned, as I mentioned, was just don't negotiate with yourself. Just jump in. Try not to think about stuff, and also not have too much of a crazy expectation about things. Because also, like, if you put like a high expectations on, let's just say, a brand new job or a brand new opportunity or a brand new challenge, like if you think that it's just gonna go completely right, I think you're doing yourself a disfavor. I feel that you should just jump into things, not really expect much. I'm not saying that like it's not okay to think positively, but don't how do I say, don't romanticize ideas. Don't romanticize them to the point where you feel like they're gonna be perfect. I feel for the most part you should just be like, you know what, we're gonna take it as is and just follow through with it. I think that's kind of like the most important thing that I learned, and the most important thing that I utilize. And other than that, man, just I mean, just trust what you do, bro. Like,
Yeah.
just trust what you do and accept the good and the bad. And I mean, if you're in a brand new environment, just kind of have the idea that you're gonna get, or you're gonna be in tune with whatever's going on. So if you're at a new job or at a new place, just keep the idea that it's new. You're brand new.
Yeah.
Little by little, you're gonna understand the routine, the process, the work that's given to you. And honestly, there's gonna be good days and bad days, and just take it as is, bro. And just, as I always say, bite down on your mouthpiece and move forward.
Mm.
That's it, bro.
Mm.
That's it. That's really it.
Yeah, I remember when I really started at the warehouse where I'm at, bro. Like that's the only reason why I mentioned where I'm at right now is because that's the first job that I've been at the longest. 6 years that I've been there with the company, and like I learned a lot, bro. I learned how the whole warehouse works, right?
Yeah.
How it works from the back, from where the girls work, where the guys work, the whole operation from inventory, all that stuff, right? But at the beginning, I didn't know anything, and I just wanted to get in there. Now I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna be in here for the money,
Yeah.
right? The money is good, and little by little, I started learning more about like inventory, more about like where the girls work at, or just different type of things that that makes you realize that it's not just picking boxes. It's more than that, right? And the more that I invested, again, the whole leadership thing, the more I invested in learning, kind of shifting mindsets, right? From I don't care, wherever life takes me at, whatever. So, okay, not even thinking like a leader, just thinking differently. Like, okay, I want something different in my life. I want to think different. I want to talk different. I want to interact different. I want to have different conversations with more intelligent people than myself, because I never want to walk into the room thinking that I know everything. I don't want to walk into the room knowing that I'm the boss or I'm this person that I'm not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want to be this. I don't want to be this person that. I don't want to be this person that does not remain a student. I want to be a person that tries to remain humble,
yeah,
and try to learn in every aspect in life, right?
Mm-hmm.
But going back to barely being in, like, the whole burger place where I'm at right now, like, again, I didn't know anything, and I was just watching the boss the first time. Oh, this how you do this, how you do that, and I got the hang of it, you know. Yeah. And even my brother tells me, man, like, you can find jobs quick. You know, I remember
Yeah,
when
bro,
I
for
barely,
real. I wish I had your luck with that.
bro, I remember when I barely moved over here, bro. Like, it's gonna sound like a lie, bro, but I literally applied at 5 places at the same time, bro. Like, I was applying online. They all called me the same day. They all literally called me the same day. I literally had 2 to 3 jobs when I barely moved over here, and it's crazy because when I really want to find a job, bro, you go out and get it. And I'm gonna say like this, bro. Like I remember, I remember what you call it, and I even told my sister too, like, hey, like, if you really want to find a job, you want to do it, right? Yeah. Again, you can take the horse to the water, but if the horse doesn't want to drink it, ain't gonna drink it, right? Yep. So it's either you want to work, you don't want to work. You either want it or you don't want it. You got to be real with yourself. Yeah. And I told myself, like I even told the people from the burger place, I told the boss, like, honestly, I want to work, but if I don't see no growth, if I don't see no, you know what I mean, then I'm gonna move. And he said, oh, I respect that. I respect the honesty, because we love integrity, and that's well said, you know. And he's like, we see that you have potential, and I was like, of course, but I want to make sure that, and I slack a lot, but I want to make sure that if I'm in it, if I'm focused, I'm gonna give it 100%. And but yeah, man, I'll give you my luck, bro.
Yeah, I need your luck because I don't know if it's because of the city that I'm in, but it's weird because out here you'll apply to stuff, man, and you'll get like a call from a job you applied like 3 months ago when you already have a job, and it happens to me all the time, bro. I end up getting a freaking job, and then somebody calls me like, "Hey, we seen your application from last August."
The heck?
I'm like, dude, I needed the job like 2 or 3 months ago. What the fuck? What the fuck do I need this job for now? I already have a job. So yeah, that's the only thing that's a little bit frustrating. I don't know if it's because of the city, bro, or
I
don't
so.
know.
I think so, bro. I think, bro, when I was living in LA, bro, it was hard for me to find jobs, bro. Like, I literally, it was so hard for me to find a job that I went through a temp agency, and bro, like, they'll move me, like, there was a job where I was over there, like, at a ranch of hens, of chickens, and just cutting the wires of the so that, you know, we can get the eggs or whatever. So I was doing that, and then the longest job that I had with the agency was driving cars. I was driving cars for like 2 years with them, a year with them. Yeah. It was a really cool experience, man. It's crazy because I started a little company when I was working there, and it failed, and I felt like that was one of the times where I was scared. I was scared that through that failure, like, it made me realize that success is hard to reach, right? But when you have the right mindset, you know, you can do it. Like me, I failed, but that was because I didn't push myself more, you know. I didn't do it the right way, you know. I did not do it the right way. It was all like next day plan, like, oh, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna make business cards, and I did make business cards, and I literally had customers, and I had the people to drive the cars, but at the time it was like, oh, we're gonna drive this car to this place, but you're gonna have to charge this much, and I'm like, dang, but and this driver that was gonna drive it over there, oh, well, you need to give me this much money, and I'm like, well, that's basically all the money. That's basically all the money. So, and then I still have to pay you, and I still have to pay for gas to bring you guys back. So it was everything was. I feel like the company would have succeeded if everything was planned well. Like I said again, like if you had those steps, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like if I really want to do it, I can do it, and anybody can do it. It's just I feel like people put too many excuses in life, whether they have fear of failure, which I was one of them, and I'm barely getting out of that shell, and it all it takes, man, is just a step of faith, you know. But that's crazy, man. Yeah. Going back to what you were saying, LA, bro, it's a very, very populated area, bro. That, yeah. Like I said, bro, right here, I can go look for a job, bro, and tomorrow I can go drive to a few places and I can get a job.
Yeah. So, two things, bro. Yeah, that last part that you said is very important because here in LA, I think that's why a lot of companies fuck over people because here there's not really a need for workers. So in a way, these companies take advantage of that because they could just hire a bunch of people and pay them some shitty ass, salary if I'm being completely honest. And over there, I guess since the companies do need workers, they pay them like a livable wage. So that's really cool that there's no lack of opportunity and that there's jobs all over the freaking place. And one thing that you said, bro, that really stood out is that whole breaking out of your shell shit because I remember my first few jobs, especially working at a gym, it was something that I've always wanted to do. And this is something that I really admire about you, just the fact that you're able to pick up on skills quite quickly. Because when I started at a gym, right, my first gym that I worked at, of course, like as we said and as we talked about, the dreamer, right, the dreamer that expects to go into something and they expect it to go right the first time around, right? So I remember the first gym that I worked at, I had this, like, you could say, what's it called? Like expectations of my first job being super dope, bro. I was gonna be really good at my job and whatnot. That whole little naive young man mentality. And so when I first got in and I actually had to coach a class for the first time with a large sum of people, and then keep in mind, I started working like right after the pandemic. So at the same time, I was away from people for a very long time, literally like about a year and a half, right? So I went back, man, that first time around. I mean, I've always, to some extent, was a shy kid. I mean, as I got a little bit older, I've kind of grown out of my shell a little bit more, going back to what you just said. Yeah. But man, that first time around was so fucking brutal, bro. I froze. I stuttered so much. I was trying to figure out how to get people to listen to me. It just was horrendous, bro. Horrendous. And like I understood that I had to break out of my shell because I was literally standing and exposing myself, or I felt like I was exposing myself in a large group, in front of a large group of people, right? So it was just crazy being, my first job, large group of people, and then keep in mind, as I mentioned, I was a shy kid. So imagine, bro, like back then I used to be very shy of presenting in a class of 20, 30 people. Now imagine me as an older adult being locked away literally by himself for about a year and a half and then going out to the real world and talking to adults that were either my age or a little bit older. Like it was nerve-wracking, bro. It was nerve-wracking, and I understood that I needed to break out of my shell and pick up skills or get out of my comfort zone where I would have to feel comfortable being in front of a bunch of people or a bunch of kids, or depending what my group was, right? So I just kind of had to pick up a bunch of different skills and kind of needed to break out of, my comfort zone. I needed to stop being such a very shy person so I could actually do my job right. Which is something that I've always admired about you, bro, because you're always able to kind of quickly pick up all your variety, all of the jobs that you had throughout your life, bro. Like I feel like you pick them up quite quickly, bro. So it's always something that I admired about you, and it's always really cool because it's not like me, bro, where I basically am still standing or still working in the field where I started. Like you worked in a variety of different fields, so props to you, bro.
Well, I wanted to say thank you, but what I wanted to say, even though like even though you say that about me, which again I'm grateful and thank you. But I respect you, man. I respect you because you could have said, I ain't gonna do it. You know what I mean? Yeah. But even though, bro, even though, and I'm gonna say this straight up because I deal with a lot of anxiety. We talked about this before. Yeah. You know, I talked to my friend Ramsey about this before. Like, man, I used to deal with a lot of anxiety. I used to have meetings with like 150 people. You know what I mean? And I used to shake all the time, and it wasn't because of the energy drinks. But I used to shake all the time and get the jitters, and I would stutter when I would talk. And my mind was racing all the time, and I couldn't make eye contact with people. Okay. You know, and yes, I still did it because I was like, man, I'm a man and I got to do it, right? Yeah. And you too, you know what I mean? We could have said, man, screw this, and I ain't gonna do it. You know what I mean? There's times I didn't even want to get out of bed because I'm anxious or my anxiety will take over, right? But no excuses. We still do it. So I respect you for even if you say that's your passion, bro. Like, yeah. Boxing is your passion, coaching is your passion, yeah. And I respect you because you stick to your passion. You know, yeah. I'm not saying that I don't want you to learn anything else. What I'm saying is that you love your craft, man. Like, you love your craft, and that's a beautiful thing to see. You know, so. Let's go, coach.
Let's go. Let's go, coach. This is actually the freaking sweater for my job, bro.
Hey, put me in,
Put me in, coach. Put me in, coach. Yeah, this is actually the sweater from my job. So right now I'm actually working with kids, which, yeah, at the same time, I'm not gonna lie to you, it brought back a lot of memories because since I'm working kind of in a classroom for half of the time, it's like, damn, bro. Yeah. Like, in a way, I kind of imagine myself. Like, now I'm speaking to all of these kids, but I kind of imagine myself being, their age, 9, 10 years old, basically presenting, like, in this classroom. It's like, damn, bro. Like, a lot of things just start coming back to me. What happened?
I said it's a trip. Like, it's a trip. Like we talked about, like, when somebody calls you sir, you like, when you call them sir, you like, when they call you sir, you're like, what? It hits you.
Yeah.
Or when, like, for example, like when my nieces are doing something and I tell them, hey, don't do that, and I'm just like, dang, am I the dad? Or, hey, I'm gonna get the chocolate. You know, but it's just certain things, and it's funny because even certain smells or certain, like, places or whatever, yeah, it brings back a lot of memories, you know. Or, like you said, like, you're taking care of kids and you're just like, we remember when we were kids, and we remember what we did as kids, and it's a trip that we were once kids and now taking care of kids, you know. Mm-hmm. It's a trip, you know, and but yeah, man. I was gonna say, I remember when I want to get back to this, but I don't want to forget. But okay. I remember when I really started doing the desk at my job, and like I said, I started managing people, mm-hmm. Bro. Like, the bosses would go up to me and be like, "Hey, why this? Why that?" And I'd be like, I don't know." You know what I mean? Yeah. And then my trainer was like, "You never want to say that. You want to have an answer ready, right?" Yeah. And it kind of brought me into, like, into reality, right? Not just, like, to be ready with the answers, because obviously you want to make sure that we communicate efficiently, right? And not be all over the place like I am right now. But to make sure that if we don't have the answers, obviously have questions. But at the time, I thought I knew everything, and everything was going wrong for me, you know? Yeah. So I feel like now that I kind of know what I'm doing and managing a lot of things, at the same time, bro, I literally have like 10 screens open at the same time while managing like 100 people, while managing, separating the books for the orders for them, and then the replaying drivers. It is just so much, right, that I have to do, which I feel like kind of like made me think the way that I think right now, because I kind of see it like a puzzle, right? I see, okay, if I do this decision, it's going to lead to this. If I do this, if I do that, it's going to, you know? Yeah. So it's kind of like a mirror GPS or something that I have to, like, use to, like, navigate, you know, in life and at work, right? Yeah. But I was going to ask you a question.
What happened, bro?
Do you see yourself in the future having kids of your own? I've been meaning to ask you this, like, for so long, and I don't know why I haven't answered. I haven't asked.
Yeah, probably, bro. More than likely, I feel that I have the patience for kids. If I'm being completely honest, uh, I mean, especially now being in a job like this, I get tested a little bit more, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, but yeah, probably, bro. Probably, if I'm being completely honest. I mean, I wouldn't want to have as much as your dad or my parents, but
Hey.
yeah, bro, a small amount. Hopefully, hopefully one day I
Bro,
get the
it's
opportunity to be a good father.
yeah. Hey, you're gonna be a great dad, man. And now, especially working where you're working at. Nah, but it's crazy you say that because what I was talking to somebody at work, and they were like, they were like, oh, I got a big family. I got a big family. They're like, oh, I have like 4 brothers, and I have like like 6 aunties or whatever.
Yeah,
And I'm just like, oh, that's cute.
yeah, that's cute.
And then I told him, oh yeah, my dad has like 10 kids, and I told him I have so many uncles and aunties I can't even count. And then I say
Yeah,
each uncle and each auntie have like what, like 6, 7
six
kids.
kids. Yeah, give or take.
Yeah, I would always tell them. I would always go to my cousin's house, which was you and your parents' house, and bro, you couldn't even walk in there. Remember when we would go for for what you call it
For birthdays,
for your
Christmas,
birthdays, Christmas,
celebrations,
whatever,
get
bro.
together, packed,
It was so packed, bro.
packed.
And you guys do have a big backyard. You guys have a big house, but it will still get packed, you know.
Too much.
Uh,
Too many of us.
but honestly, bro, like it really brought me into like, man, like it's a blessing having a big family, right?
Yeah.
And I thought to myself like, which we talked about so many times, like over the phone, and when I would go see you guys, how we should all get together or whatever. But
It's
life
hard.
hits, and
It's hard.
life hits hard, and everybody gets busy, and
Yeah.
everybody, you know. So I feel like maybe we should plan something, or do something,
Yeah.
you know.
I think that now that you are coming during the holidays, I think it'd be easier
Yeah,
because the world kind of stops. You get me? Like for the
yeah,
most part, everything's kind of like settling down. School is over. Work is probably
yeah,
not going to be open on Christmas Day, at least for most of us.
yeah,
So life settles down a little bit, slows down. I think maybe this time around, bro, during the Christmas time, you could probably get everybody together on the same
yeah.
page because you came during
It'll
the
be cool.
summer and then like in the middle of when
Yeah,
everything's going on. So it's kind of difficult because school's still in play, work is still in play. So there's still a bunch of different things going on, and then everybody has their own responsibilities. So it's
yeah.
just kind of hard to get everybody in the same location, same time because
Same time.
all the
Yeah,
schedules are all over the place, bro. And then sometimes some cousins are a little bit more closer with other ones.
yeah.
So
I
everybody
realized
kind
that.
of in a way has their own little group too. And then
Yeah,
sometimes those little groups have plans that they've already made
yeah,
and they go to do something else with somewhere else. And then this other group is over there, and then
yeah,
a few of them are over here, and then it just becomes a mess, bro. Is what all I'm
yeah,
trying to say. So it's a fucking
yeah.
mess, and it's just hard to get everybody on the same page, bro.
Yeah, I know. That's kind of like what I realized too. Like a lot of the cousins, like they all have like the little cliques,
Yeah, they do.
and which is cool, like the younger ones with the younger ones, and us with us, I've been told my brother, and I tell like certain people like, oh, like which cousin are you close to? And I always tell them like you and your brother and
Ruby, huh?
Ruby. Ruby's one of them. Like the three of you guys, I'm like the really like the closest ones. And I would talk to you like, out of all the cousins, bro, that we have, and we have many. Like you're the one that I basically. I remember there was a time where we would talk
Yeah.
every day, bro. We would talk, and which is cool. And yeah, man, it's a blessing. It's a blessing. Seeing, and honestly, bro, it's a blessing seeing your growth, man. Seeing where you came from. Last time I seen you, you were big, bro. You had a chest and.
True. True, bro. That's really true. Not just playing.
Yeah.
Nah, yeah, I get you. I get you.
But yeah, man. You always had that mentality, so that's something that I appreciate because I learn from you all the time.
Oh yeah.
Uh, you know.
What about you,
And
bro? Do
then
you
this
see
weather
yourself
over here.
being a
Huh?
pops?
Huh?
What about you? Do you see yourself being a pops?
I do.
You do?
I really do see myself being a dad. And honestly, there's times where I'm taking care of my sister's kids, my two nieces. Yeah. And there's times it's like, man, like having daughters is tough, man. Like having kids in general is tough, but like it is tough, man. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I feel like I do want to be a dad, but with the right person, honestly.
Always.
And not just that, but I want to make sure that I raise them right from the start. And again, like I don't know, like everybody has a different style of raising kids, but it's just a learning experience. But to answer your question, yeah, I see myself being a dad. I want maybe like 10 kids. Nah, I just like
you're gonna bust Pedro Alcázar.
Nah. You know what, bro? I want 11 kids. I want to be my dad. Nah, I just like
might as well go for 12, bro. They can make a movie out of you cheaper by the dozen.
Nah, I think I only want probably like 4 kids or 3 kids or whatever the Lord blessed me with. But yeah, I do.
Yeah, right now, bro, I'm cool off kids though, just because I'm working with kids. So my patience gets tested enough. I don't know how much more patience I would have for another kid, if I'm being completely honest. I just got thrown into the field, man. Like this has been my first week. And today the supervisor actually apologized to me. He was actually like, "Hey, bro, I'm sorry for not being there because technically they're supposed to put me in the field, but they're supposed to actually be with me. But since there's not really a lot of people willing to work with kids, especially after school, I'm guessing like he takes over like the kids or the grade that doesn't have a coach, so he can't really be with me. So they just kind of like threw me in there. And like some of these kids have been testing me, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like some of these kids are fucking bad, bro. But other than that, I think that what's helped me out is also because I've worked with kids at a gym, but it's a little bit different just because of the setting, the environment, and because in one we're basically training and actually doing a sport, and the other it's kind of like training, but in a way we were also still doing like schoolwork and basically a lot of educational stuff. So it's a little bit difficult, but I think that for the most part I'm doing quite well. The supervisor also seems very pleased. He understands also my background is coaching, right? Not educational coaching, but it's somewhere along the lines. And also since I'm not really a dumb person, or at least I don't consider myself a dumb person school wise. It's I get what they're doing. You get me? I get their homework. I get the work that they get. I understand. I understand basically everything that's being thrown at them. So it's not really a problem. Other than that, I mean, the only place or the only thing that just kind of drives me nuts a little bit is the handful of kids that they want to test you or they want to be funny or they just want to act up,
Yeah, I mean that's how it is. Like I went to my niece's school on Monday when I took her some food, right?
Yeah.
And she was all happy, but there was a lot of kids, bro. It was a mess. Like it was just like, bro, it was so loud. I'm just like, wow. I need one of those things to cover my ears.
Yeah.
No, but I'm gonna tell you this, bro. Like my nieces, bro, like they're a handful. Like they hang around with the wrong crowd. So I kind of tell them like, hey, you gotta be selective on who you talk to, with your friends, etc. And then they're like, oh, well, we're gonna let me make my own mistakes. And I tell her like, look, you want to make your own mistakes, like your friends, but that's not really a mistake. It's not. That's just ignorance now, because you know the mistake. So so it's ignorance.
Yeah.
And the whole boyfriend situation. They just 10, 11, like 11, 12 years old, bro.
Yeah.
There's only so much that I can do because I'm not the dad. Yeah. But I try to guide them. I try to be a good role model. I feel like the biggest thing for me that I feel like I messed up in a way is giving them a iPhone, because for me I feel like the social media and the whole, it was just a lot of you know how it is. Yeah. You go to Instagram, you go to TikTok, you see stupid stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
And it's just a lot. So I feel like I don't know. It's tough. It's tough having kids. Uh, Honestly, I don't know how our parents did it. I don't know. Well, back then we didn't really have cell phones, so
Yeah, you don't
it
have
was
cell
different.
phones. You don't have. I mean, also, I feel since like for example, like a lot of us were at least closer in age. Also, you guys, right? You guys are only like what, a year apart.
A year, 2 years apart.
Yeah, I mean, if you kind of discipline the first kid, I mean, the other ones kind of fall in line. But
Yeah,
when you go into a place and everybody has different upbringings, different
yeah,
attitudes, they're not really disciplined in the same way. Take it whatever way you want
yeah,
to take it, right?
yeah. Exactly,
They're
exactly.
not disciplined the like the way that the next kid is, and they don't understand or weren't taught the morals that the next kid was. It becomes very difficult because now you're in a way dealing with a lot of attitudes, a lot of characters,
Yeah,
personalities, and also like since I'm in school, bro, like there's also like a fine line of like what type of disciplinary action you could take, and
yeah,
also the words that you utilize, bro. Because now it's
yeah,
like when I did my training, bro, there was a lot of like political correctness. There was a lot of ways in which you actually had to approach situations verbally. So uh, yeah, bro. Like you're always kind of limited on things
yeah,
that honestly you could really say straight up, bro. And hopefully, make some of these kids, think or at least act a little bit
yeah,
better. Like for example, I have a kid that he's really smart, bro. He's
yeah,
really smart, but the thing is, like, he wants to be cool, so he hangs out
yeah,
with the kids that are very disruptive. And I tell the
yeah,
kid all the time, "Hey, bro, like, I know that you see your friends over there, supposedly them being cool, but it's like, bro,
yeah.
like you're smart, like you're intelligent, like don't waste your potential trying to impress other people. Like just do what you got to do,
Exactly.
and honestly, like don't waste your life or don't waste being a kid trying to do dumb stuff because." Right now, these guys are doing really dumb, minor stuff, and then like they get a little bit
Yeah,
older, and their ideas get a little bit more crazier or a little bit more
yeah,
sporadic. And the last thing that you want is to end up in a situation where you're in trouble and the idea didn't even stem from your head. It stemmed from people you were influenced with or you were influenced by that honestly don't even really think about their future.
yeah. Exactly. And look, and exactly how you said it, bro. Like my niece, she's in honors class, like in math, right?
Yeah.
And she's like, switch me from honors. I want to go back to regular math. And I'm like, why do you want to do that? And she's
Yeah.
like, oh, because, well, she wants to go back.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, and I'm like, and I told her it's an honor to, like, it's an honor to be in that class, right?
Yeah. It's honors.
Like, what do
Yeah.
you, like, it's an honor, obviously, right? But I told her, like, look, like, take tutoring. If I can help you in any way, if you can go to tutoring, the school offers that, right?
Yeah.
But, all her friends are in that other class. So I try to tell her, like, in the end of the day, it's gonna affect your not your career, but it's gonna affect everything right now,
Yeah.
right? Because everything's gonna follow everything has a track record.
Yeah.
Like if you act bad in school and you keep acting bad, it's gonna follow you. How are you gonna get a job? They say, oh, I want to do this, I want to do this, but if you don't do that right now, man, I wish I can go back as a kid and and learn from 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 how do I say it? Like if I can get $10 million and learn from all my experiences, I'd rather go back and learn from all my experiences. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I can use my experiences to do not make the same mistakes and take a different route.
Yeah.
But I don't have the luxury of going back in time. you know,
Nobody does.
nobody does, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, nobody does. But what I want to do is, like, when I have kids or my nieces, I want to make, if they listen, I want to make sure that they understand and have that, because again, they're gonna grow older, and when I have kids, hopefully one day, and they get older, I don't want it to be like, well, I didn't try, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
or you know, uh, but then again, it's like that's within its time, you know what I mean. Whenever that happens, but yeah, man. Other than that, man, it's been a crazy ride, crazy ride. It's getting cold over here. Freaking weather is crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, no, like going back to the last point that you made, uh, maybe like the weight of grades and high GPA doesn't necessarily matter right now, but at the same time, you're creating habits right now
Yep.
for school. So when you
Yep.
get to high school, where it really, really, really fucking
Mm-hmm.
matters when you're trying to get into a college or university, like if you've been slacking off this whole time, more than likely you're gonna be slacking off in high school
Yep.
as well. So
Yep.
you want to at least carry on good habits early on. That way, when it does really matter, right? I'm not saying that school doesn't matter as an elementary kid or a middle school, but of course, where it
Yeah.
weighs the most is high school.
It's high school.
But you already have the habits that we always talk about. You already understand what needs to be done for you to
Mm-hmm.
actually, get good grades and eventually, from that point, be rewarded by actually going to a prestigious school, hopefully a prestigious
Mm-hmm.
college or university, whatever it is that they decide to do. And now going back to your second point, bro, yeah, it's getting a lot colder, bro. I mean, we're already
Yeah.
in December, bro.
I
Like
know.
the
In
year is
December.
literally
Yeah.
about to fucking end.
No, bro. But what I'm saying is, in Texas, like you never know. You never know. You know.
Yeah.
It was hot. It was really, really hot earlier.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was hot, dude. And right now, like, it's cold. Like, but it is what it is. But
Over
now,
here,
man, like,
during the day, the weather is heaven, bro.
yeah. Like, honestly, like, me and my brothers, we would talk, and my siblings would talk, and we were like, man, we can go back to, if the only reason we would move back is if we had the money.
Yeah.
If we had the money, yeah. But if, other than that, there's no point. I would move back, bro. Like, over there, I was only making like $8, $7 an hour. That was a long time ago.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
That was a long, like 7 years ago. But when I moved here, I started at $16. So, but now I get paid more because I've been there longer. But um, I feel like it's more peaceful over here. Like, it's more peaceful. I don't. There's times the traffic gets bad,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, man, just like California. And then I look down at the license plates. Dang it, California. And I'm just like, no, I'm just playing.
Nah, yeah, bro. I mean, LA. If we're being completely honest, it's its own world. I mean, I've heard so many people from different states just talk about the weirdness of LA and how it's one of its kind, and it makes sense. I mean, depending on what way you look at it, yeah, like there's a lot of weird things. I'm not gonna lie. The state has, but like what is weird? You get me? Because also we
Yeah,
could look at other states, and being from Cali, I could be like, what they're doing is
that's weird.
fucking weird. Yeah, but I get what a lot of people are saying. I understand that completely, but yeah, I don't know, bro. Like, I don't know. Like, there's no place like home. If I'm being completely honest,
No,
but
honestly, bro, like no, and I agree with you, bro.
yeah,
Like when I go to Cali, okay, when I really moved, then when I would go back the next year. The next year I went, and I was like, man, this is home. This is home. It's home. But then I started going back and going back and going back, and it just became so distant.
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like it's still home, but it's like I don't know. Like, it's my first home, but it's like then it's not. It's just a weird feeling. Like,
No,
it's
yeah,
my state. I
no,
love it.
yeah.
I love
I
Cali.
get you. I get you. And also, I mean, it's true what you say though, bro. Like, there's other places that just kind of seem more calm and peace and at ease. Like every time I'm out of California, like for example, like
Yeah,
Mexico or even being in Texas, like time moves
yeah,
by not as fast. People seem a
yeah,
little bit more relaxed, like in terms of like people that don't really seem too stressed
yeah,
or too much in a hurry to get somewhere or like move around. So there's also that added pressure, that added stress that I don't know for whatever reason us people in California just kind of always feel, or especially the people in LA because time moves so fast here, bro. Like it really really does
yeah.
move fucking fast. Like I mean, my week went by, bro. Like, and I worked, and I would have expected it to be like a fucking drag and dread the days, but nah, bro. Like, I started on Monday, and I'm already like
Yeah,
5 days in. It's like, what the fuck? Like,
yeah.
where the fuck does the time go? And yeah, like, I'm not gonna lie to you
I feel
though.
like I feel like over there because life is just moving too fast.
Fast, yeah.
Like way too fast. Like I remember when I just went when I went on vacation. What, like the 3 days, 4 days I was there, it went by so quick, bro. I'm like next thing you know, I was already on the plane. I'm like, what the heck?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it goes by so quick, and I feel like the traffic, the you go on the streets and everybody's like quick. It's like New York.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
everybody's on the go.
Like, okay, everybody's on the go. I feel like right here, like obviously it's different. Like everybody's just like
more chill,
chill, whatever.
People talk to you.
But
people actually give a fuck about you.
Yeah. Bro, like I was telling you, when I moved over here, bro, like I would open the door. I mean, I would walk into a grocery store and they would open the door. I'm like, what the?
Like, nah, close that. I gotta open it.
Like, I gotta open it. That's how I was raised.
That's how I was raised, yeah.
You know, so it was just crazy, bro. Just like, and then sometimes, like over here, like if we're trying to switch lanes, they'll like I'll actually wait for you sometimes for you to. I'm like, what the heck?
Over here, they flick you off, bro, and you gotta force your way in.
Yeah, I remember when I went the fourth time I went over there, I rented a car and I was like, as soon as I crossed, bro, as soon as I left was it Arizona and I went into California, bro, like everybody was just moving so fast. They wouldn't let me pass, and I'm just like, yeah, this is something I do not miss.
You gotta force yourself in there, bro.
Yeah, for real. Gotta get good breaks, you know. But yeah, man. But yeah, the food over there is freaking delicious, though.
Always.
No doubt. No.
Yeah.
No doubt about it, man. No doubt about it. But yeah, man. Anything that you did this week that stood out? Anything?
Not really, bro. Just work. I mean, it was my first week of work. I was thrown in there with the wolves, basically. I was thrown in there with the wolves, but I survived my first week. Today, I actually had a bit of trouble with a couple of students, and I actually had to kick them out of my classroom. I didn't really feel so good doing that, but I kind of understand my teachers from elementary a little bit better now. And then I had a little bit of an accident where two girls crashed into each other, so I had to talk to a few parents. Other than that, like, everything's been pretty chill, straightforward. Not much, man. Not much. I gotta really get into this routine just because since it takes me like about an hour to get there.
And that's crazy, bro. That's crazy.
Yeah.
My bad to cut you off, bro, but that's crazy how you work literally by where I went where I stayed at the hotel.
Yeah,
that's the trip.
It's like right there by USC, downtown.
That's far.
So yeah, like since I take the train, it takes me like about not an hour, bro, but it takes me like about like 40 minutes, give or take. But I mean, everything just moved really, really quickly. This week went by freaking fast. Other than that, man, like, not much, bro. Like I said, like all I gotta do is get used to this routine. Just because sometimes I wake up late, bro. Like sometimes I end up waking up at 9 or 10, and so I have to be there at school by 2. So I'll work out. That'll be from 11 to like about 12 or 12:30 ish, and then I eat, shower, and then at 1 I leave, and then I get to school like at 1. So like I literally haven't really been home, or I'm not really home throughout the day technically.
So you said it takes you like what, like about an hour?
Like about an hour, bro. Because sometimes I walk to the station, which would be like 10-15 minutes, depending on how fast I walk. That's like 10 minutes there, and then like I'll wait like 5-10 minutes too for the train. So I was like 20 minutes, and then it's like a 35 minute train ride. So that ends up being like what 35. 45, and then it's like another like 10 minutes to walk to the actual school. So that's 55. Yeah, like 55 minutes, give or take.
So you either run it or you're lying to me, because for me, I think it will take me about like an hour and 40 minutes, because that's far, bro. That's far.
Yeah.
Like to me, like in a car, it would take me like 30 minutes to get to the hotel where I was staying at to your house.
It takes about like to get to the school. It basically would be like 25 minutes.
So you walk fast, basically.
Yeah, I walk pretty fast, bro. I mean, I've always walked. I mean, like right now, bro, I have like 14,000 steps and shit.
For the day.
For the day, yeah.
That's crazy, bro. That's crazy, bro. I remember when I used to my job, bro. When I used to select, I would hit like, well, that's around the same 20, 22, 23,000 steps a day.
Yeah.
And now all I do is just stand at my job. And I don't, I think I hit like what, like, I think like 500, I think like less than 1,000 steps. I think.
Shit.
Yeah, so I missed like moving. So like I said, like last weekend, I just started going to the gym consistently, and I was at the treadmill. I was working back, chest, whatever.
Yeah.
And it felt good. It felt good to be back. It felt good to be active. Finally, my Apple Watch gave me that ring, and I was like, "We missed you. We missed you, you slacker." You know, cool, so yeah, so it felt good to be. Like if like every time I go to the gym and I do stuff like that, like when I read and go to the gym and all of that, it feels good. Like it feels like I accomplished something, you know?
Yeah, it does. It's like it's dopamine going into your brain, thinking like you actually like accomplished a task for the day.
Yeah, and honestly, like I told you on the last podcast, like when I got home and I was gonna go to sleep, and I was like, man, it feels good, you know, like I did something. I didn't feel lazy going to sleep, knowing that I accomplished 3 things in like in a few hours. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I think we'll probably close it off, bro. Close off this podcast. Yeah. So same thing that we do every week, bro. What's one piece of advice you'd give the listeners?
Piece of advice is continue listening to the podcast.
That's a good one. I approve this message too.
I approve the message. Yeah. I would say think ahead. Think ahead for your future. Don't really think about. I mean, obviously think about the now, but set goals for your future. You know, set goals like where do you see yourself in 1 year? Where do you see yourself in 2 years?
Yeah.
There was this one. I don't know. I think it was his name is Toby something, and he was getting an award, right?
Yeah.
And he was like, you know who my hero is? He's like the 5-year-old version, like the 5. You know, every 10 years, the every 10 years person of me, like every 10 years. Like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Where do you see yourself in 10 years? So when you reach, you know what I mean? That's a beautiful thing. Like, that's supposed to be your hero, right? Like, the version of you that you're supposed to be, basically.
That you imagine,
you know?
Yeah. That you felt like you were capable of being.
Exactly. So that's just basically my message is do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, see yourself and picture yourself. Whatever you're doing now, is it going to affect your future?
Yes, sir.
That's my message.
You heard it here first.
What about you?
I would tell the viewer and the listeners to take things gradually. Take things step by step. Don't try to look at the big picture. Just look at the step in front of you. Don't get overwhelmed by the abundance of work or the abundance of tasks that you guys need to do. Just take it one step at a time, gradually. Don't expect too much, but also don't look at things from a negative standpoint or from a pessimistic point of view. But take things gradually, work your way to the top, work your way towards your objective, towards your dream, and you guys will eventually reach it. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but sooner than later, hopefully.
One day.
Let's go. Let's go, baby.
Let's go.
All right, bro.
Yeah.
Thank you. Man. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for being here, P-Lab. Hopefully, we will drop another episode in the near future. Let's see when we hop back on again.
Yeah, let me know. Let me know. Definitely, I'll be at home cozy. No, let me know, man. Whenever you're ready, man.
All right.
And we can do it.
All right, sounds good, bro.
All right, man.
Peace.